Hey guys, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you can call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR podcast, episode 117. Woo, woo,
I'm running on no sleep. No sleep. Club. But it's work. Work. More work. I'm running on no sleep.
That's actually really sad on a Friday.
The fact that I'm here and I showed up.
It's something.
I love you guys. I love you guys.
Basically.
It's very real because, listen. And that's why I also think, people like that have to be, it's like the podcast is not work, but it's a bit like work. But if I had to show up and record with someone that I didn't like, listen, you guys want to see me sometimes. But like when those big like media things where two people don't like each other.
And they still have to
they have to show up or you find out like, I don't know, Fresh Prince or something and they never got on and they had to record. I just feel like that's long. I guess it's just their job.
It's a lot of people's life, yeah.
It's like any other job.
If you're getting paid enough, you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was getting paid enough, I could smile in anybody's face.
Basically. But to be here for free.
Yeah, I have to do it for the joy, for the passion.
For the love.
But how are you?
I'm all right. I was really sick this week. I was down and out. And I don't know, since I had my son, like almost 4 years ago, my immune system is just pants. Like a little cold will take me out. Like I wear a mask on the train now.
Do you?
Yeah, because I just can't. Yeah, I just can't keep getting sick. It's just ridiculous.
You look wonderful.
Thank you. So do you. Thank you.
I was going to say something to you. Yes, guys, I'm here to plug Velisa on TikTok. Velisa has been doing so good on TikTok. She's like, her following is growing. She's being super consistent. She's doing some HR cases as well. So you guys should check out Velisa on TikTok. Well, I've every name I've added it to the description. I know you don't read
Have
it,
you?
Yeah,
no, I haven't.
for the last couple of weeks. So all of the details, her TikTok is no longer user whatever. So
yeah,
17.
I'm actually alive. I reached over 1,000 followers
and very quickly as well.
Yeah, it was very
like
quick.
A week.
Yeah, it was like a week. It was really quick. Like yeah.
I'm just gonna say that I knew Velisa once upon a time when when you got your million.
The thing is, Lola, you know exactly why I'm doing it. So you're just chatting right now. You know exactly why I'm doing it.
Just saying. And you know what? Anyway.
And it's not a recession indicator. There's other reasons why I'm doing it.
Anyway, she's doing it. What's going on this week in my life? Nothing. I've just been working.
It's been working.
Yeah, it's been really busy. It's been really busy. I've actually been working on something that I've really enjoyed though. Like I'm doing some benchmarking.
I knew you was gonna say something.
Yeah,
like that.
and I haven't had to do it in a little while. It's been like 2 years since I've done a benchmarking project, but this one I'm like owning everything, and I'm really enjoying doing the data. We're working with a company which I won't say on here, but and looking at like I'm nosy. Like that's why I like competition data. Like I'm actually a nosy person.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I'm a very nosy person. But I was telling you before we started recording that I am struggling a little bit, both like online, with family, with clients, with just the general kind of working in HR at the moment as it pertains to pay. I think it is a really difficult time to be HR and kind of understanding like not what our role is, but trying to kind of see both sides, but both the kind of employee cost of living perspective, but also the business perspective. Like people want more money and they want their employers to kind of stand up and help to bridge that gap, which of course if your employer can do and they are willing to do it, then fine. But I feel like obviously the issue is kind of with the government. Do you know what I mean? Like we're in just a very strange time where, it's so hard to... it's so hard to afford things. And it's like, even then it's like, okay, if companies could decide to take a little bit off their bottom line, reduce their profit so they can give more money to their employees. But I'm like, when have they ever done that? Why are we now expecting companies to do things that they've never done before? Do you know what I mean? People are like, you should do this. I was like, they've never done that before. Yeah. And you're expecting, even a responsible, ethical employer, all those responsible, ethical employers, they're still like, they're profit-seeking business. Even charities, like, they don't even... Obviously, they help the charity, like the recipients of the charity, but for the employees, it's not like they're like the employees take less so that the charity can have more to give to the recipients of the charity or the particular cause. So yeah, it's like I sometimes just like people, even when I see people online, they're like, oh, employers are this, employers are that. I'm like, we're really looking at the wrong people, like, to an extent, because you can't one day wake up in 2025 and be like, your employer should do this, that, and the other when they've been doing the same thing forever and no one ever made them change.
It's true. I mean? It's true.
But I also understand people need more money.
Yeah, I get that as well. For me, it's also around performance motivation. So usually, you know, especially this time of year, like this is the time of year where, you know, the mid-year reviews are happening and the mid-year like promos and mid-year salary increases and all of that stuff. And it's just not, it's not looking how it usually looks. No. And I think
less to celebrate.
Yeah. And I think, you know, a lot of people, you know, most people, they perform well because they want a good bonus or they want more money. And if you don't have that same incentive, like, you know, there's just a knock-on effect. There's a knock-on effect on performance. There's a knock-on effect on the company. There's a knock-on effect on HR. There's a knock-on effect on leaders. Like it's a big deal, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I find myself like, so when I worked like at Deloitte years ago, I remember saying to my friends, like, I feel like I'm losing touch with reality because everyone was paid so much money that I'm starting to forget what average people earn. But now I'm very much in terms, especially I work across so many different businesses, I very much understand what normal people earn, right? But then sometimes I feel myself getting into like a little bit of, I don't know if it is toxic thinking, but being like, if you want more money, what are you going to do for it? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you should be able
to
pay. Shake
that ass.
Yeah. What'd you do with your summer day?
But that's what happens, though. Usually, when the world gets into these spaces, that's when things are born. And to plug you on TikTok, you know, you're starting to talk more about what it means to be an entrepreneur and be business minded.
Yeah.
And your TikTok that gingered me about, you know, this is the time where, you know, you can't get a job, you don't have nothing to lose, start that business.
Yeah, and I just sometimes I'm looking at people online or in person, and I'm just like, you want more money, and I know everyone should have a livable wage, but even the living wage is like not that livable apparently. So it's like, what are you willing to do? Not to say that you need to like kill yourself or whatever, but again, complain, like you can obviously lobby. You can do two things at once. You can lobby for more money and a livable wage or more money in that context, but also what are you going to do outside of just
your job?
Yeah, just like kind of complaining about it. And I was saying in one of my videos on TikTok actually that by trying in any context, whether it's in a business, at work, by trying hard, you already beat most people because most people don't try hard. So, and not every company is going to reward people for working hard or showing initiative or whatever, but a lot of companies will. So if you know that you want more money in this environment, you kind of do have to at least try and outperform your peers.
You do.
You have to try and outperform your peers, but I think just kind of complaining that you don't have enough money. I understand the sentiment, but it's actually not a solution. And I don't think that most companies are going to turn around and say, well, people are complaining, so let's pay them more money. Nah. They're not going to do that. So we kind of have to find a solution. I don't think there's a solution that is going to, unfortunately, this is capitalism, it's not me. Please. I don't think there's a solution which is going to en masse lift everybody up. No. So unfortunately, you just have to be better than other people.
Do you know what I think the most companies do is, for example, if your company was about to go 5 days a week, but they know that people aren't getting a full bonus or they're not getting a bonus, they might hold back on you know, implementing the 5 day a week thing. They'll do little things like that, or you know, this time the summer party that they have, they might put more behind the bar.
Yeah. And it's all relative, and sometimes I don't like to speak on it because I feel like I'm aware that I speak from a place of privilege, but it's hard. I don't want to be like one of these like Stephen Bartlett types and be like, oh, I used to be poor and now I'm not, and all this other stuff. I don't know if he was ever poor, to be honest, but you know what I mean? Like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Molly May or whatever. But but I do feel like that sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, guys, come on, like we can't keep complaining to our employers. the people that we should be complaining to
The government.
are in Westminster.
Yeah.
Like, and we actually need to be putting more pressure on them, because even like with companies, let's say you work at a company, you want to most companies are never going to sacrifice profit. So if they're going to pay all their employees more, they're probably just going to roll it into the price of their products, and we are the consumers of those products.
Yeah.
So then we'll just get it on the back end. Do you know what I mean? We actually need a real solution that is just not going to come from individual companies. There's a lady, I don't know if you've seen her on TikTok, but she has a company, and she's been viral quite a few times, and she has a company. She pays everybody in her company gets paid $70,000 regardless of what they do.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she was basically she came up with this. It's like a, what do they call it? This like a social whatever. But she believes in socialism. But everybody in her company, it doesn't matter what you do, they all get paid $70,000 a year. And she looks a bit hippie-ish. And actually, she was talking about how she had a boyfriend for years and they broke up. And actually, the part of the reason was because the job was killing her and he didn't like to see it. And basically loads of people took advantage of her, and he was like, these people are taking advantage of you, and you just are getting sicker and sicker, and you're not actually standing up for people, and you want me to watch you get sicker and sicker, and I'm trying to defend you and you're getting annoyed at me for defending you and stuff like that. But she has gone viral quite a few times because she has, I'll show it to you, but she has a business where everybody in the business gets paid the same money regardless of what you do. And I wonder, as a concept, I don't believe.
So wait, can anyone get paid more? And 70 is the baseline.
No one gets paid. They all get paid the same money.
So
even
the
her
director of marketing will be paid the same as the receptionist. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I believe. But and the thing is, that people they should be not grateful, but I think they're all in it together. So that's the whole idea. It's like we're all working in it together. We all get paid the same amount of money, even though we have different jobs. We all have equal value. I just don't know. I think you have to literally believe in like socialism for that, because and people did take advantage of it. They have taken advantage of her.
Yeah.
So
that's a temporary thing though, unless you
scale. No, she's been running it for years.
But like, is her business getting bigger?
I can't even remember what they do.
Because like, is it 70k now? But as the business grows, and then everyone's gonna get 100k, and then everyone's gonna get. Probably, do you know what I mean?
I don't know, yeah.
Or like, are you only gonna bring in people into your business that have that same mindset? So now you have to recruit. Yeah, like you're never gonna bring someone who's coming from, I don't know what she does, but you're not gonna bring in someone who was a VP at Coca-Cola and say, come and work for me.
But they might be willing to do it if that is very. They have to be very values that align from a values perspective. I wonder what the company does. I can't remember, but that's never gonna happen in most of these companies. And obviously, she is a small business.
Interesting though. I like that more than how some of the CEOs pretend with the $1 salary thing that they do.
Yeah, but they all get dividends, don't they?
Exactly. So it's very performative.
Yes, I can't remember what her name is, but I like the idea. And if you believe in it and you're willing to work, but there'll always be someone who comes and takes the big salary and doesn't do their work, and then it just takes one person to topple the idea or to break the trust. I'm trying to find it. Well, next time she comes up, I think she's this woman. She's got loads of piercings and tattoos on her face.
Yeah, no, it's a good. I mean, it's not for me.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why is it not for you though?
Because if I'm, for example, if I'm like the senior or lead ER person, I have a particular skill set and expertise that I'm assuming other people in the business don't have. And now you want to pay me the same as the marketing assistant who this is their first job.
Also the same as the CEO.
If the CEO wants to do that, that's none of my business.
Yeah.
But like, do you get it? That just doesn't make sense.
You have to believe in it.
Yeah.
You have to believe in it. But also, remember, if you think about if you come in when
unless the baseline was like really good, then obviously I'm here. But
if you have to think about if you join when you're quite junior, then imagine all the loyalty that you've built up. So everyone else is going to pay you $20,000. The person's going to pay you 70. You know, you'll build up a lot of loyalty. So over time, you might
stay. Yeah,
and you actually just be, and also you won't, if you get paid a decent wage from the beginning, you won't be so eager to. You can save. You can do things from the very beginning. You won't be so eager to move on.
That's true. But my understanding is $70,000 in. Well, I guess it depends on the
$70,000. I can't remember the exact number, but it's a decent amount of money, and they all get paid the same.
I guess it depends on the state you're in, but yeah, because 70 in some states, people would be like, that is nothing.
Yeah. You know who I'm really obsessed with at the moment? There's nothing I want to talk about today. Dave Ramsey. I used to watch his videos.
I love him.
You love him. What about
hey
John?
Dave, so me and my husband are in $1 million of debt.
I love Americans so much.
And 500,000 of that is his student debt.
Yes. Or they'll say something so stupid like, we owe £1 million and we're thinking about buying a new house.
It's like what? And his face, like
he's like, you owe £1 million. You guys are poor.
I went through a phase where I was watching all of his
Same.
videos.
That's what I've been there and I'm back there now. And then he has his daughter on sometimes.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he has his daughter on. And then he does money. Obviously, sometimes the money touches relationship.
Yeah.
And then he has another colleague called John Maloney.
I think
he does mainly relationship.
Yeah.
And they're so salacious. And it's like, it's proper, like, it's gist. That's why I like it. There was a guy who called in recently and he was like, my wife doesn't know that we're millionaires, and should I tell her? Because I'm worried that what she'll do, she knows, if she finds out, like, she'll spend all the money.
Well, was it my man? Sounds like something my husband would say.
Yeah, he was like, I'm worried that she'll spend all the money, and he was like, are you not worried that you're lying to your wife? Imagine finding out.
Yes, that's it. That is it.
Yeah, imagine finding out that you're literally a millionaire. And you don't know, and your husband's been lying to you about how much money you have. But also, I feel like some of the stay-at-home mums or stay-at-home wives in the US, they really are stay-at-home wives. They're like, I don't know anything about the money.
Yeah.
That's how you end up going to prison.
Yeah.
You signing. One day they'll come and tell you that you signed something, and now
I've watched so many shows like that.
Like, that's crazy. There was him, and then there was a lady who, her husband died in an accident. He fell off a roof. He was a roofer or something. No. And then the bank, she'd always worked part-time, or she'd never really worked. And the bank was about to foreclose on her house, and she only owed like $60,000 on it or something. And then he was like, how behind are you? And she was like, like 5 payments of $600. So the bank were threatening to repossess her house over $3,000 when you've already paid like $300,000 to them. And he was like, they're not going to repossess your house. Don't worry, we're going to help you. Obviously, they don't give them money, but they just help them to figure it out. Yeah. And I was just like, capitalism is the worst, isn't it?
It is bad. American capitalism is a different ballgame, though. When I heard the student loan debts that people get in that country, I said, you know what? 9K a year ain't that bad.
They said, some people were calling to say, about $500,000 student loans. So I'm borrowing $500,000.
That's crazy.
I have to be a doctor. You know, doctors actually get paid sensibly in the US, and you can actually pay those off. Yeah, I love, if you go to debt free community or whatever the hashtag on Instagram. I was obsessed at a point, and it's regular people, and they'll be like, I owe £200,000, and they're trying to pay it down.
But then, do you know what shocks me more? What shocks me more is then how many people actually do go to college in the US, because
it's just expensive, isn't it?
But if that was here, there would be a very, very, very big decline.
Yes and no, because if you think about it, look at Scotland, they go for free. They're looking at us like we're chumps.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? And they're probably thinking, if they had to pay £9,000, they wouldn't go.
That's true.
It's our reality and it's their reality.
200, 300, 400,000 is a lot. Like,
that's insane. And what kind of job do you have to get?
A very, very good job. But in America, I feel like there's more of a guarantee with a college degree that you're going to do okay. You're gonna do okay. You're not gonna be.
Is it that much different to here that you get like a college degree? Because I think a degree here, God, is even worth the paper it's written on these days.
I feel like over in the UK, if you don't have a degree, you can. There's other routes.
But yeah, America's a mad place.
Yeah, America's not for me. Love to visit, but from time to time, but not to stay. I need a re-up on some of my products actually from America. I should do a haul.
The ones that are illegal in the UK.
Yeah. Even, you know how we'll get back to HR, but you know how I said I was sick this week? Mm-hmm. So obviously I had just come back.
I know.
I had just come back from the US. And when I go to the US, you know, some people, they go for trainers,
sweets, chocolate.
Yes, sweets, candy. No, I go for makeup and drugs. That's why I go. So I re-upped on my NyQuil because, they stopped night nurse over here. Mm-hmm. So what do? I go and get my NyQuil, my Advil, my Tylenol. They ain't stopped me before. Anyway, it's all in my cupboard now. So what now?
I was telling Velisa, she was like, I need to use my American drugs. I'm sick. I said, listen, one thing about American drugs here, they'll advertise it on TV and they'll do 30-second worth of disclaimer. I said, you better be careful that the disclaimers that you
when I say that,
shit your asshole out, mate.
That stuff knocks me the hell out. Like, if my son came into my room that day, I don't know if he did. I don't know.
Your mother? Who's that? I don't know her.
I was knocked out, but it helped. It helped.
Yeah, you bounced back very quickly.
Yeah, but my friend, my friend Maury, she was sick one time when she came to the house. So I was like, yeah, have some of this. And she literally messaged me while she was in her Uber saying, what have you done to me? Like, she was like, I feel drugs. Like, what is in this? But asked me if she felt better the next day.
The good stuff.
Okay.
You want to tell us about a case?
Yeah, so actually, if you're following me on TikTok, you might already know about the case. But if you're not, do that first. But do I have some news for you? Do you know what? Even though I've done it, I've like completely forgotten most of the case. Lol. But anyway, so it's an NHS case, of course. It's in Croydon, of course.
I love that. I love South London cases. They're the best cases.
And it's all coming back to me now. So I think it's the blood part of the NHS that this person works for as a supervisor. But anyway, there was a team exercise that was going on, and there was a quiz, and it was a Star Wars type quiz where every individual on the team had to think of a Star Wars character and relate it to someone in the room, right? Someone on their team. So, for example, we're on a team and I say you're the only one I know, Luke Skywalker. Is that Lucas? Luke Skywalker?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
I
was going to say John Boyega.
Not John Boyega. So, yeah, I would say, that means that you're, a leader and you're this and that. So, anyway, it was time for Lorna, her name is, to, give a character. And at that time, she received an important phone call, so she stepped out. So someone called Amanda picked a character for her. And the character, and that I've learnt now from TikTok, a few things about this character that Amanda picked was Darth Vader. So I know Darth Vader for like the heavy breathing and the black mask, but apparently
Luke's father.
Yeah, and apparently he's a villain. Like, he's a villain in Star Wars. Like, he's evil. Like, he's not a nice person.
Okay.
Like, people were saying to me they were playing in her face, but yeah. But the reason that Amanda and others picked Darth Vader was because they were like, Lorna is very focused and often brings the team together. But apparently that's BS. Like, that's not a reason to pick this character.
Darth Vader. Does Darth Vader do that?
I have no idea. But she was really upset about it. And there were other things going on as well in the workplace, but she decided to resign. And she took
off the back of the
that was like was like the final straw. Yeah. So this went to court, and she did win, and she won just over just under £30,000 she won. And the Darth Vader comment, the judge ruled that yes, like, this was a detriment to her and a reason why she could not stay.
It was rude and
it was offensive. It violated her rights,
her dignity.
Yeah, and it is a reason that she could not stay and work under this part of the NHS
we've got
anymore.
To take our W's, but I just feel like recently there's been a couple of things like that. I'm like, you people for real? But I guess in the round, if there's other things, I mean, I love that for her. But I'm like, that's crazy, isn't it? But I don't know anything about Star Wars, but if someone called me Voldemort, we have to fight.
Nah, for real. Do you know what the funny thing is? When I did it on TikTok, one of the comments that made me laugh the most was somebody said, what was her hue?
Because Darth Vader is also very black. Black,
yes,
right?
I think, and obviously it was in Croydon, so I think there was maybe an assumption of like who did what kind of thing. Yeah. But I was like, everyone involved is white. To my knowledge, yeah.
Even the Darth Vader, the one that they called Darth Lorna.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's so funny because when you said Lorna, in my head, I was thinking Caribbean lady with locks.
No, everybody was white.
I don't think I've ever met a white Lorna. Lorna is a very black
Oh,
name.
I went to school with a white Lorna.
Lorna? In my mind, Lorna belongs to Caribbean women. I don't even know young
That's
people.
like Sharon.
Yeah, I don't even know young people called Lorna. So it's like they must change their name when they get to like 35. I never met a young Lorna.
I mean, like I said, I went to school with one, so I know one my age.
That's mad.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so she won, and you know, some people were like, if I did it, would I have got the same reaction? But like I said, it wasn't just that, but it was one of the reasons. I really
thought it was like race related. I thought that was part
it wasn't race related at all.
Crazy.
I googled what she looked like to double check because her picture is out there. And
that's the thing about going to tribunal. Yeah, people be in your business. I know. That's why it's like I understand why people go and stuff, but people be in your business.
I know. Like if you work for companies that do their background checks properly. I
did a background check at one of my clients. They did one for me before they could onboard me as a contractor. And obviously I have the HR thing, so I just went to look at it. That was when I said, okay, I got to lock my Twitter.
Oh, is it?
Because there are things that flags, things that I've reached. Like I retweeted, there was like years ago, I retweeted a thread of like alt black women, and they're just like cool. These women that do cool things, like a bit like emo or just alternative piercings or whatever. And there's some pictures in that they weren't sexually explicit, but obviously there were girls that were a bit scantily clad, and that flagged as like sharing explicit content online. Obviously, when they looked at it, they could see that it wasn't, but it flagged. And I was just like, also awkward that you're looking at my Twitter,
social media, yeah.
All the podcast stuff came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was just like, what? Like, I was like, I got to lock this thing down. But it was the most comprehensive check I've ever had come across. And obviously I didn't give them that email or anything. So they just obviously search your name and they've got people that are just sleuthing you, isn't it? To find your information.
Yeah.
There's one final thing I wanted to talk about. So there has been a new report by The Good Shout, and it's called The Shapeshifters, What We Do at Work to Be Liked. And they surveyed more than 1,000 people. And basically one of the key findings was that at work, women do so much more to be liked than men, or they find it more important to be liked, or they think it's more important to their career, or it's more necessary for them to be liked. And so there's like, they call it likability labor. So all these extra things that you need to do as a woman in the workplace to make sure people like you, because you know if they don't like you, that it'll be harder for you to progress. Well, obviously we all know a lot of the time men in the workplace, they don't care about being liked, and if they're not liked, they can still get ahead and they can just be seen to be like firm. It's the same thing that's been happening, but like even now we're still doing all this like quote unquote likability labor to get people to like you and be sociable and smile and all of this kind of stuff that men don't have to do. Like you could literally be a knob and shout at people and whatever and still progress. And you can't do that if you're a woman.
Yeah. So basically the report is saying nothing has changed.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, nothing has changed. I do feel like women let me not lie. Maybe because I'm in employee relations, I don't feel that way.
I think it's definitely helpful to be liked as a woman in the workplace. Like even for me, and like even with my clients, like if I was a guy, and maybe if I wasn't in HR, but if I was a contractor or I was a founder and I was a man and I did like something else, marketing or sales or something, I don't think it would be as important. And not just because I'm in HR, but because I'm a woman, for me to be liked, especially in the environments that I work in. Like I work in very much boys club environments, so I kind of have to do extra to get them to accept me into the boys club.
Yeah, to be fair, when I worked at the recruitment company, I did feel like that because it was a boys club, so I had to be pally with everybody. But ER is such an isolating role that I don't feel I have the same immediate pressures in terms of like forward facing the business to feel like I need to present myself as someone who's likable, because regardless of when you meet me, you're not really gonna like what I have to say. Does that make sense? But obviously with stakeholders and stuff, yeah, but in general, no.
I don't ever get the impression that you care about being liked, because I know the way you've spoken to some people.
Because they deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
They deserve it. Exactly. But in general, like, but I like to be in environments where that's not as obvious to me. I feel like when it's obvious, it feels more pressurized, more stressful, more depressing that you have to do it. But if it's not in my if it's not in my face in that way, I'm actually more inclined to be more smiley and more happy.
I'm quite a jovial person in general, so
that's another point.
It doesn't really bother me. I'm one of those people that if I go to work and I'm not happy one day, like people notice, and I hate that. They'll be like, "Oh, Lola, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm just like anybody else. I'm calm today. Like I just want to." Or I'm in a bad mood or whatever. But other people can come to work and have a face like a slap dance every day. People don't ask them no questions.
It's true.
Let me come in one day and not say hi when I walk in the office.
It's true.
I am a very much morning person. Morning.
I'm not.
I did. I even do it in the park when I'm walking.
Nah. If I see you, I see you. Like I can come in and just like be at my desk, and if you're not in my I
go in and do the rounds.
Nah.
Go say hi to the CFO. Go say hi to my client. Go check on the founder. I haven't seen you in a while.
But do you know one thing I've noticed, like about where I work now? Obviously, I don't talk too much about my current workplace, but it's a positive, kind of. I guess depends on how you look at it. I view it as a positive. Everybody that sits around me on my team, we are literally the same age group. And I think that helps in terms of understanding each other, where if I do come in and put my headphones in, the chances of someone feeling offended by it is very low. Yeah, like I just feel like there's like the other day we were all sitting down at lunch and someone was like, "Oh, what the hell?" And I was like, "What the hell, auntie?" And then someone else went, "What the hell, Berry?" So I just think it helps, like when there's that sort of understanding as well, where I don't feel like, oh yeah, yeah. Big up them. Some of them will see this. Big up them.
That's so funny. I don't think I've ever worked with people that I've listened, besides people that work with me, that I've listened to the pod or
oh my gosh, where I work now, some of them are actually like, they listen. Like they come to me and like, "Oh my gosh, I was listening to this episode and you were talking about blah blah blah." And like they say, "Oh, and Lola was like casually."
Not Lola.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, and
hi
Lola."
Guys. Like, I've been invited to your office, so I'll be meeting you soon.
Yeah, no, they listen. They actually listen. I think this is the first place. Well, I've only worked in 2 places that we've done the pod, but I think this place more than the other place, they listen. But the other place, they listened. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's everything. We have to.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but
Chin is crying in the background.
Lola needs to attend to her child.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I did the right thing and left mine with my mother, but some people, they couldn't get no childcare.
It's hard being a dog mum, man.
Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
What are we doing? That's a wrap, guys.
Bye.